Hi, it's Sonya here. So today I want to talk about finishing what you've started. Yeah, that's it. Finish what you've started. In my own life, I've always had problems doing that, as a young adult and a teenager. I'm sure you can relate. You start cleaning your room and midway through the clean, you don't finish it. And you go on to other things because your mind kind of wanders and you're thinking about school or you're thinking about that boy you liked. And you never quite finish what you've started. And my mom used to get on me a lot, and just being a writer, I would begin to write a show or write a story, and it's going really well, and I'm writing, and all of a sudden, bam, I get another idea for something else, and I'm telling my mom about it. Oh my God, I have this really great idea, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, but what about the other idea? And what about the idea before that? And the idea before that? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still writing that. I'm just telling you about this new idea, and I need to go ahead and start it because it's this new fresh idea in my head. And she's like, Sonya. Finally, she had to tell me, Sonya, I love you, darling, but you need to finish what you've started first. Like, commit yourself to what you're doing. Stay present to, what you're trying to accomplish. Because only until you accomplish that one thing will it turn into a masterpiece. You understand? We can start so many things and so many projects or so many, things around the house, whether we're, trying to, extend the house and make an addition to the house, or, different things in our, we may start different projects with our children, and we're kind of teaching them in a way. If we don't finish the task that we set before them and we set before ourselves, we're kind of teaching our children in an unconscious way that this is kind of how we operate. We finish things, we start things, but we don't finish. And that's not the lesson that you want to send to your children or to your mentees or to people who look up to you, to your siblings. You want them to know that whatever you start, you're going to finish it. And if you don't finish it, it's because you decided not to. So my mom really influenced me in that way. She really just kind of slowed me down and said, okay, you are my child, and you're brilliant, and you're bright, but you have to finish one project at a time. Because if you don't, the world can never see your masterpiece. And that's what I want to encourage you today. Whatever you're working on that you haven't finished, that you tucked away somewhere, you put on the shelf, and it's 5 years later, go back, dust it off, look at it, and say to yourself, you know what? I've always wanted to finish this book. Reading it or writing it or whatever you do, it doesn't have to be a creative thing. It could be, working with numbers, or, starting that accounting business. It could be whatever your art form is. And you can decide, I always wanted to finish this and I never got around to it. I always wanted to take that hike, or always wanted to make it to the top of that mountain, and I never got a chance to actually do it, and I'm going to do it. You deserve to do it. You deserve that for yourself. You deserve to prove to yourself and to say to yourself, I can start a task and finish it. And I don't need any outside help, any outside motivation. I can motivate myself to live on the principle that what I start, I will finish. And, just like everybody else, I have that voice inside of me that says, Sonya, you're not going to finish that. You're not smart enough to finish that. It's not right. No one's going to like this. That naysayer inside your mind that tells you, oh, you can never accomplish it. It's not any good. Who's going to listen to it? Who's going to like it? Who's going to appreciate it? No one cares. I have that voice too. And that's why I love to encourage, because I encourage myself and I push that voice out of my head and I say, no, I'm not going to listen to it. I am not going to listen to that voice inside of my head that defeats me before I even try. That tells me, you're never going to finish it. Oh, you're tired. Watch some TV. Just finish it later. Oh, work on it another time. Knowing you're not going to work on it. Knowing that it's just going to be kicked to the side. And so I'm telling you to push that naysayer out of your own mind with positivity. Tell yourself, you know what? No, I'm going to do this for myself to prove to myself that I can finish what I start. You deserve to do that for yourself. We all do. Because if you can show yourself, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. Then anything that comes your way that you need to actually start and finish, or you need to actually create, or you need to actually take to task, you will. Because you'll know and you'll reflect back and remember, I've done it before and I can do it again. You see? And that's a part of motivating yourself, but also believing in yourself enough that you're talented and you're gifted and there's greatness inside of you, and what you have to show and your masterpiece that you want to display to the world is something that is a part of your expression. And believing that somebody wants to see your expression, because somebody out there is going to be touched by what you do. It's a fact. I just believe that God gives us gifts that fills voids. There are voids in this life. Different voids. Spaces where things need to be filled. Inspiration that needs to be captured. And your gift can fill the void. Maybe to inspire that person to paint, or inspire this woman to lose weight, or inspire that woman or that man to stop smoking. You see? So never look at your gift or your potential masterpiece or something that you haven't finished but started as something that is just, frivolous, or nobody ever wants to see, and nobody ever really cares about, because that's not true. That's that naysayer inside your mind. Les Brown talks a lot, and I love Les Brown. He talks a lot about if you can destroy, or if you can put away the enemy from within, then no enemy that is outside of you could ever touch you. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, but it's true. If we can kill and destroy that voice within that tells us that we're not worthy, that tells us that we're not good enough, that nobody wants to hear what we have to say, nobody wants to see our masterpiece. If we can destroy that inner voice inside of us, then there is no enemy or no naysayer outside of our own self, no naysayer that can detract us or discourage us from ever revealing our masterpiece or ever finishing the work that we started and created. Nobody can discourage you if you have confidence on the inside. Nobody can say, oh, who cares? Because your response will be, I care. And it'll be strong, because that's the way you feel on the inside. See? So my mom, I thank her so much, and I try to, to tell her how grateful I am for her, because she really, whether she knows it or not, was a catalyst of me thinking about things differently, about me deciding, okay, I'm going to finish this. Whether it was, and you know what I finished probably was dread awful. It was, I remember writing a screenplay back in Chicago. Oh God. And I just knew that I had to finish it. And the page count was something like 400 pages. And this was a screenplay. And anybody who knows about writing screenplays knows that a screenplay averages about 120 pages, 124 pages max. And this was 400 pages. Not only did I finish it, but I booked a theater, and I had a bunch of my actor friends to come to the theater and do a read-through. They loved me, my friends did at the time, because there's no way in hell that someone would sit around and read 400 pages. But when I reflect back on it, I just really, I chuckle and I laugh to myself, because I'm thinking, oh my God, those guys must have really loved me, because that's insane. But I took my mom's advice and I finished it. And you know what? Over the years, I've gotten better. And now I can write projects and know, oh, I'll have that done in a week. I can write something and know, okay, I'll have that done in 2 years. If you're writing something like a manuscript or a novel. But you know that you can do it. And if somebody says, hey, we want to hire you for this, you're like, okay, I can do that. And you know you can because you've done it and now you've practiced it. So, you know, it's about having that principle inside yourself saying, no matter if I'm tired or if I have to come home and finish it after a day's work, no matter what the situation is, I am going to finish what I start. And if you set that precedence, if you make that a part of your principle of living, then no one can stop you. You know, I'm reminded of the success story of J.K. Rowling, who's like one of my favorite writers. Her success story is so remarkable. I mean, this is a woman who came out of a divorce, had a child with a man, and her mom was ailing at the time and died soon thereafter. And she was estranged from her father, and she was living on, you know, assistance from the government. And she felt, in her own words at the time, that was some of her, you know, that was basically her lowest hour, if you will. And because she had a baby to feed. And but she knew that she had a passion to write. And she would write, and, you know, obviously she would have to work, you know, odd jobs and just trying to make it in this small, cramped apartment in England. And she said she was on a train one day, and this boy wizard popped into her head, and Harry Potter was born. And she said that she jotted some notes down and she began to write the story, and she didn't stop. Once she started writing, she didn't stop. And I think it took her, my guess is 10 years, I believe, to write Harry Potter, the first book, because she started something and she was determined. Out of poverty, struggle, working odd jobs to feed her child, she was determined that, you know what, this is a story that is passionate. It is something that feeds my passion and my purpose and my spirit. I have started this thing and I'm not going to finish it. Now imagine if J.K. Rowling hadn't have finished her book. Imagine if the world never was a part of viewing and sharing and observing and reading her masterpiece. We wouldn't have Harry Potter today, you see? So never doubt yourself. Don't underestimate your gift. Never say, it's not good enough. Well, you know what? Okay, then you need to sharpen it. That's okay. You need to make it better, you know, perfect it, you know, take a class, get a mentor, help them to help you to really express your purpose and your passion to the fullest. But never say that your light is not worth shining. Never say that the gift that God has given you is not worth sharing. Remember, life is about service. At least that's what I believe. And if you believe that too, then you have to step out on faith. Really step out on faith and know, okay, I'm going to share this regardless if no one shows up. And if someone shows up and I encourage one life, I can help change the world. Okay, good friends, that's it for now. Thank you for joining in, and subscribe. Pass the word around. I'm looking for more people to join us, and I'm looking to stick around and encourage you. So until next time, God bless.